This video is not intended for children. Hello everyone, this is Taryn.
This is Isaac.
And we are
True Masters of
oh my
Morons.
gosh. Playing
Doom.
Eternal. I just wasn't expecting to be charged.
I understand that. Stop it, chair. Being extra squeaky right now for no reason.
Stop moving.
Move all I want. No,
you best have cut that out. That's all I have to... I guess this is the one time when actually you would almost have to leave that in. But,
I'm like, I have to leave it in because we're talking about it.
I hear all kinds of stuff happening, but I see nothing and no one.
Yeah, that sounds right. Ah!
Oh!
Like, I hear everything. I see nothing. The blind man's day-to-day life, man.
It's Daredevil,
It's Daredevil.
every blind anime character ever.
Did you know that both Ben Affleck and the girl who played Elektra both highly regret those roles?
No. Talk more on that in a second.
This is Dr. Elena Richardson, log entry 005, subject analysis of Doomslayer, February 2nd, 2163.
I wish I had a sit button.
Maybe he is a god.
Maybe he is a god.
Humankind's rage.
Oh, I'm a god of rage. Oh, jeez.
Become that which would threaten our survival. He is uncompromising, a relentless being of violence that knows no mention of the hesitation.
Can you turn a little to the right?
Leaders and politicians during our time of judgment.
Thank you.
Can he overcome them alone? If he can't, we as a species, all species, will not survive.
Well, that's a bit fatalistic, but all right. Eee.
Nice.
Ugh.
Can I just say I really approve of at least some of the lore in this game not having to be read by us? Just a little bit.
On the one hand, yes, but on the other hand, oh hey, I see them.
What was that?
I will show you exactly what that was. I was distracted by seeing that.
Oh.
That's the sound I could hear. It was down there. On the way over, I saw them like, oh, hey, I see that. And then I realized I should be jumping. I'm like, oh, I saw those.
Real quick, before you go back, look down there. Can you go into that broken window directly below you? Right? Like, is that sorry. Across the way, next to where you could grab on. Is that an actual open window or no?
You talk about... Here?
No, down and to the left. There. Okay, you can't. That's
not broken or anything. It's just
okay.
Just a window.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I was reading just a list of actors who regret their however many roles of their that they've previously done. To the right, Taryn. There you go.
I have no vertical movement, but man, my horizontal movement is impressive.
It's insane. Apparently Ben Affleck, who played Daredevil in the live action Daredevil movie that came out years ago. And the actress who played Elektra in that same movie, and then in the following movie of Elektra. Both regret those because they're like, we feel like they very much could have been better, and now we've seen, comic book movies done the way they're supposed to be done, and we know they could have been done better.
So they regret doing them because they weren't the directors, were they?
No.
That's not on the actors. That's on the director/writing team.
You have to work hard to achieve success.
Oh, you're gross.
Wow.
Give me my coin, oh Knight of the Dead People.
And that is admittedly something that you and I have had conversations about a lot, about how...
Where
Not there.
Evolution is our destiny.
Shut up. Can I shut this hologram off?
No,
I'm gonna
you
have to
can't.
stand here doing things. I just know I am. Yep.
Down and to the left turn. Underneath.
Oh, thank heavens. Okay.
Um,
yeah, what? You see that?
Oh, I do.
I used that already.
You went through that,
I used that
yeah.
already. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a plane. That's
That
a
is a
plane
plane.
that crashed this building.
That somehow
That is
that building
unfortunate.
did not destroy, like fall down.
All right.
But yeah, you and
see if
I
there's
have
anything
had
up
this
here.
conversation. Just climb up.
I just wanted to see if there's anything right here. Why is that so wrong?
Did you actually have to jump there?
Yes, I did. There was a break.
But yeah, you and I have had this conversation plenty of times that, as far as we're concerned, like all the people who have all the hate for insert actor here for a movie, we put very little of that actual hate on the actor most of the time.
Most of the time, most of the complaints you hear about are like character decisions. Mm-hmm. They're not acting choices or lack thereof. Because there are some people who's like, oh, so and so, like, I can't remember her name, and it's probably better
Bella
that I don't remember her name.
Twilight.
That's the one who came to mind. Like, whenever you hear complaints about her, it's usually like, oh, she's a terrible actor, and I either don't hear reasons, which sort of suggests that there aren't character-driven reasons, or, you know, they're all just like, you know, she's a wet da-da-da-da-da. And true or not the point. The point is that those are actual, like, complaints about the acting and not, say, the plot.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, oh, that's not how Bella was, or whatever, which would be
Yeah.
a gah!
Which, again, that would be a writing/directing choice, not an actor choice.
Yeah, that would be the writer/director's fault, not
Not the actors.
actors.
And
Because
I
the
will
actor
say,
doesn't get to the actor doesn't get to make those decisions most of the time.
yeah, I will say that actress, by the way, she was in the most recent Charlie's Angels, and plenty of people had like refused to watch that movie because she was in it. It was out when I was working at a movie theater, and I saw bits and pieces of it, and she was acting in it. Like, well, even. I was very impressed, and it made me want to see that movie because I'm like, oh, wait, she's actually
Son of a...
she's actually doing well and acting, and it's awesome. So if that was your only qualm to watch the new Charlie's Angels, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I've seen, it's not a reason not to watch it.
Well, yeah, good for her. I have heard the movie's not good, but I don't know.
I don't know for sure if the movie
seen
itself
I
isn't
saw,
good.
Like, one commercial for it. I don't know. I
Yeah,
liked
it's
the old
like-
movies. I've never seen the old show.
Yeah.
I did learn a fascinating piece of information about the old show, but that can wait for a minute.
But yeah, so like if she was the only thing holding you back and there weren't other things about the movie that you heard that you didn't like, I would recommend going and seeing it for yourself. Going to find a way to see it yourself. Yeah, no, there are plenty of things that actors get blamed for, that actors get yelled at, on...
It's like, oh, you're a terrible actor. Like, to go back to the same thing, with Ben Affleck saying he regretted that role. When he got announced as playing the newest Batman, well, not the newest, but the most recently filmed Batman,
yeah,
people were like, oh, it's going to be terrible. And I'm like, look. It's like, look at his films. Like, really look at his films. If he has a good script, he'll play a good Batman. If he has a bad script, he'll play a bad Batman. And I will say, the best part about that movie was a well-written Batman, minus the whole murder, anger, kill Superman bit. But, like, beyond that, he was fairly in character. Yeah. And so he did fine. And Ben Affleck played a great him. So
my only issue with Batman in either of those movies was in Justice League, because Batman Bruce would never reveal himself to anyone.
You're gonna have
in
to
the
remind
way
me
he did.
You're gonna have to remind me who he revealed himself
When he was
to.
going to collect everyone, he went and found the Flash. And the way he convinced Flash to come and join him was throwing a batarang at him, revealing that he was Batman as Bruce Wayne. And I'm like, there is no way in hell that Bruce Wayne is doing that. He would come in and find the kid as Batman and invite him as Batman, but he's not throwing a batarang as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That was my biggest issue. But again, that right there is a perfect example of issue with the writing, not the actor.
Yeah, like, he didn't look like a weird, clunky person when he threw the batarang. You know,
No.
he's just like, throw.
I will say, it's looking like we're getting one of my all-time favorite fan ideas, and that is Michael Keaton is going to come back as Batman.
What are you?
You've seen a couple of them.
Have I?
Yeah, they're just big, nasty beholders. But at the very least, there was talks or rumors of Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, and based on what people have been seeing and saying, it's very possible that it's Michael Keaton coming back as Bruce Wayne to train, like, a Batman Beyond movie.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And I'm like, I am 100% down, because they're like, it's going to be old Batman training young Batman, and I'm like, the only thing that makes sense for is Batman Beyond. So,
Oh gosh.
If we get a Batman Beyond movie,
and then I need to murder people.
Yep. If we get a Batman Beyond movie where Michael Keaton is Bruce Wayne, I am 100% down.
I would agree with that. Okay, you need to die. Oh. I'm like, I am hitting you with everything I've got, and you are not dying fast enough.
Agreed.
Yeah, that Michael Keaton's another example. Great actor.
Great
been
actor.
in some bad movies. Doesn't make him a bad actor.
Really bad movies.
That's some really bad movies. But
Great he is an amazing actor, yeah.
And yes, I would totally watch a Michael Keaton, Old Bruce, Batman Beyond film.
Hell yeah. 100%.
And I say that as I'm like, I'm not a Michael Keaton fan.
No.
But I don't have a problem with him. Like, you know.
And like,
yeah,
I
that'd
don't
be great.
Like, and I don't deny that, like, he's definitely not the first person I think of when I think of Batman, but he did play good Batman.
I'll tell you exactly who the first person I think of as Batman is. I don't know his name, though, unfortunately.
Okay, go ahead.
The voice actor who played Batman in, like, everything until, like, I don't know, 3 years ago?
3 years ago? Yeah. No, I agree.
That guy. He's Batman. Much like Mark Hamill is the Joker. The guy who played Batman across from him is Batman. Like,
yeah,
I know his face. Oddly, I've seen him, but
same.
I can't think of his name.
Oh. I am exactly the same.
But yeah, that's who I think of when I think Batman. Kevin Conroy. Okay.
Kevin Conroy. That's his name. And yeah, Kevin Conroy. I agree. He is the quintessential Batman voice for me, because he played Batman for longer than anyone else, and so in good. Everything, and it's so good. The live action Batman that you think of, though, do you have one that comes to mind when you think of live action?
All of them.
All of them? Like,
it's like, I probably wouldn't have thought of Michael Keaton before you brought this up, and I would probably think of what's his name from the Dark Knight movies
series. Yeah.
Even though I wasn't particularly fond of that Batman.
That's just it. He's not the one that I don't like him the most, but he's definitely the one that I associate most with live action Batman. Which is weird. There's
a hole there. And to be fair, I don't necessarily, this is another thing, is like, I don't have a problem with the guy who played it. I'm not a huge fan of that version of Batman.
Yeah.
Because I think, for the first few movies at least, they got his character pretty right. And this is the problem that you come in with with the movies of Batman, the live action ones particularly.
Yeah.
Is they tend to get one or two aspects of his character right and then ignore the rest.
Agreed.
And hold on a second.
And then they ignore it, yeah.
Yeah, and the rest they ignore. So, like, the Dark Knight Batman, I think for the first few movies, not counting whichever one it was, he, like, retired and broke for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
They had his character right. Like, his characterization was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't like there was no depiction of him being the smart guy who made all his own toys. He was just basically he was a dude that happened to luck into having a lot of equipment. Like
yeah, that's just it. They had Morgan Freeman's character be the one who made him everything. He didn't
and I have no
make any of
problem
his
with
stuff.
Batman being like, "Hey, I own this giant company. Is there any like super secret tech that we don't really sell to anybody?" Yeah, sure, I'll make that and appropriate that. But he didn't play the detective and he didn't play the smart guy, and that to me is like Batman's defining trait. It's like, I'm smarter than all of you. Like that's
Well, I mean, that's what he's technically, like, if you look at his original comics and even a lot of his newer stuff, he's a detective. He is the world's greatest detective is his title in the DC comics. He is literally the best detective in the DC comics. I think there's one who rivals
I will say,
him.
According to people who know comics better than I do, that friend of ours,
Our buddy,
there is one or two above him. Is it Elastic Man?
I knew Elastic Man was up there. I thought he was just below, but he might be right above. I don't know.
According to him, he's right above. So like
Okay.
Batman's right below that guy. Apparently that guy's like ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, it's like he's
the point
smart
is, like,
and
he's top
detective-y
5 of detectives, and he's extremely intelligent.
Easy, sure.
That was the same issue I had with the Spider-Man movies that came out, the first live-action Spider-Man movies.
Is they really didn't touch on the fact that he's a smart dude?
No, they didn't. His webs were powers that he got from being a spider, and he was intelligent. Like, he was smart enough that he was going to college and all of that, but he wasn't Spider-Man. He wasn't Peter Parker levels of intelligence. Which is what made me really like the Amazing Spider-Man series that came after that. That was
the one right after that, right?
That was the live action series right after that. The one with
the British kid.
The British kid. Yeah, the British kid playing Peter Parker, because it actually showed he was smart. He was making his own webbings.
Isn't the current guy playing Peter also British?
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
So that was really good.
So not Tom Holland, the other guy. Berserk. Oh, punch it. That's wow.
Be thou destroyed.
Wow,
that is pure Berserker rage right there. Anyone else? Let's go.
Wow. It's still going.
I honestly thought it would be done.
No, it's because each time you go in for one of those kills, the time stopped, and you were literally doing them close enough to each other
that it just never moved.
That it didn't move.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. That is how that ability is meant to be used. That
it is
the Doomslayer's rage right there.
Cool. But no, so that's why I really liked the Amazing Spider-Man series, because they showed his actual intelligence. He was an extremely smart kid in high school who was able to make this, elastic thing. He was smart enough to be getting a unpaid internship basically for his high school thing at this huge science lab because he was that smart. Like, there were a lot of good things that showed his intelligence, and I really liked that series.
I would agree. I have no problems with that one. I actually liked the Tom Holland one when it came out, but like it's not the best one now,
So Tom Holland is the newest one.
Sorry. I meant the Tobey Maguire. I actually liked the Tobey Maguire one when it first came out. I enjoyed them. I think they're great. I think they're great movies.
That's just it.
I don't think they did a great job of Peter.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So this was when Tom Holland first took over. This was the general consensus of most of the people I knew, and that was that the Tobey Maguire movies were the best Spider-Man. They were really good Spider-Man, horrible Peter Parker.
Okay.
According to most people, the Amazing Spider-Man, the next series, was the best Peter Parker, but a worse Spider-Man. Like, he was not as Spider-Man-y. Which I can agree with on certain levels and disagree with on other ones, but doesn't really matter.
Neither here nor there.
Then Tom Holland's has been, so far, the best combination of both. You have a very intelligent high school student who is inventing all of this stuff. The only thing he didn't make on his own was his suit, and that's because Stark made him a stupid suit.
I do like how they handled that suit in the first movie, because when they gave him that and he had like basically a mini Iron Man suit, I'm like, and they did make this whole big deal about him having to like step up
being
and be
limited
him without it.
Yeah, the express. Oh, okay. You're just looking at the map. Okay. The express limitations put on by Stark so that he wasn't just a mini Iron Man and he had to earn his way through, kind of thing. I liked that they did that. I also liked that he was smart enough to hack his suit.
Well, you know, that's one thing. He wasn't. That was his friend who did it.
I thought he helped though. Wasn't
he might have? I don't know.
I don't remember now.
He didn't play the major part. There we are.
Oh, hello.
It was Guy in the Chair who did it.
It was Guy in the Chair, which I do like him having Guy in the Chair. I do think that's great.
Guy in the Chair is too hilarious and funny to make me feel bad about Peter not being the guy in the chair.
Mm-hmm. Not being the smartest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, hold on. We'll continue this discussion just a second. Let's
yeah.
read these before we forget, because there was another one we picked up a minute ago.
Oh, was there? So the arc part 2.
Oh.
Vega data entry. By 2151, the ARC began running operations from the Mobile Command Carrier, a seaborne command center designed for long-range strike operations which would serve as ARC HQ. Their primary objective? To locate the source of the Hellgrowth infestation, and
Mars.
in doing so, shut down the emergence of Hell portals and closing the gate between dimensions. At the heart of the Armored Response Coalition is an aggressive research and development program in pursuit of new military technologies. As part of Dr. Haden's commitment, UAC resources under his direction, including some of the most powerful AI ever created, have been deployed in service of weapon development designed to face the Hell threat head-on.
Samuel fricking Haden. In 2150, following the loss of communication between Earth and Mars-based facilities, UAC Director Dr. Samuel Haden suddenly resurfaced on Earth before the AN Council. The demonic invasion of Earth had already begun. Imagine that. And Dr. Haden had arrived just in time to provide aid. He supplied the resistance armies with argent technology and advanced armaments, taking helm of the newly formed ARC as lead director. Dr. Haden's tactical and scientific acumen were invaluable to the war effort, and he was soon given full command over all resistance efforts by the Global Council. The ARC engaged the demons with bleeding-edge tech, exosuits, and heavy-frame battlebacks, but found themselves fighting a losing battle. Operation Hellbreaker was Samuel's final plan, a powerful counterattack that ultimately ended in failure. His robotic torso, retrieved by ARC soldiers, Samuel is now tended to and monitored by a skeleton crew of scientists. They had been given contingency orders to safeguard his body, along with the crucible obtained on Mars.
Okay, so he's not dead. He's currently stasis somewhere, basically.
Yeah. There was one more thing, but I think it was just a monster? I didn't think I'd found any new monsters. Oh. I hadn't found one yet.
I was wrong.
Pain elemental. Wow.
Ballista
does bonus damage, and it still took 3 shots.
Jeez. An abhorrent creation of the umbral planes, the pain elemental is descended from the primal, abominable depths of the demon world. Knowing only its own torment, the elemental is cursed to forge lost souls within the fiery pits of its gut, a process that is excruciating and without end for the duration of the creature's miserable lifespan. The elemental's only reprieve from its own agonizing and torturous existence is the projection of suffering into the world. For this reason, the pain elemental reaps great satisfaction from indiscriminate killing and the infliction of misery upon those weaker than itself.
It's a sadist. Yay.
Yay. But yeah, so that was our opinions of Spider-Man and Batman. I will also say, with the idea of what's his name? The dude who played Edward Cullen in the Twilight franchise playing Batman. I'm down. He's a good actor when he, doesn't hate the character, and who can blame him for hating Edward? Just saying.
I can, because he took the role. But anyway.
Yet another person who fully regrets it.
I believe in this thing called professionalism, but...
I do too, but he was a young idiot. He's done a lot of movies since then, and that's fine.
Not an excuse.
He's done a lot of movies since then that have been very good. So that's my point.
I'm sure they have. Like the first thing I ever saw him in was as what's his name in Harry Potter, and he was great.
Yeah, and he was great. I won't disagree that like he should have been better about it, but do you actually have to push something?
I am controlling nothing.
Okay.
I was waiting to see with bated breath to see whether I would, but
The second turret will give you the angle needed to destroy the remaining tentacles.
You're telling me I couldn't turn like 40 degrees to the left? You just did a 180. There's no way you can't turn 40 more degrees.
Right back the direction you came from, even. Like, you would go back across what you'd already crossed.
Whatever. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us today. If you want to see more of this or any of the Let's Play lore, etc., let us know what it is you want to see in the comments down below. In the meantime, this has been True Masters and Morons, signing off.
Get rocked!
Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more like it, hit that subscribe orb.
To see our last Let's Play, click or tap the link on the right.
For our last lore video, click the link on the left.
Thank you to all of our patrons for making these videos possible.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.